everyone. It's Wednesday, July 29th, 2020. It's Ken's Variety Hour. We're going to go over three different topics and three different applications in this rather quick video today, just because one of the things I like to do is a lot of times I'll talk to people who are interested in uh, multiple areas, things like the stock market and the Major League Baseball and the NHL. Of course, many of us have multiple interests, so I, of course, like to share this with you. And I recently had an interaction with someone who's interested in the stock market and Major League Baseball. So I'm going to talk about two applications that I've worked on and that go over the stock market. And of course, today's baseball games right here. The algorithm predicted today's baseball games. How did it go? Oh, we'll talk about that too. And we're going to do it super quick. So first, let's talk about the world. Let's talk about the stock market. We'll kind of look at the stock market to determine how people are feeling about the direction of the planet. I mean, look at this. This is a not complete list of the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ, but it has a lot of companies. It's got like 1,600 companies. And I have them all in a pivot table and doing things to it to be able to draw some conclusions about things. And it said that the airlines kind of, by subsector today, had a great day. Gas utilities, healthcare technology. So when you look through the airlines, you see, well, yeah, United went up 3%. Why did this happen today? The answer is no reason. I don't think anybody's going back to flying anytime soon. I have not been able to convince my ex-wife to let me fly my kid out on a vacation somewhere because she's like, you can't go do that during COVID right now. You can't do that during COVID, can you? You're right. You can't do that during COVID. She's right. Nobody's thinking of getting on a plane, even if you want to wear a mask, right? So I would say that's nonsense. I'd say that's hedge fund managers moving stuff around. It's kind of funny to see it when you look at it this way because there's no reason, right? It's funny how things go up in tandem. So I went through the sheet today. I also went through stocks that I like. I, of course, love Tesla. Tesla's down right now below 1,500. That means buy them. They're number 3 on my list. Schrodinger's down for no reason. I call them the fountain of youth because they're going to come up with programs that help uh, us monitor the human body in a way at the molecular level that we never thought of before. They're too low. Testing company does a lot of PCR testing for coronavirus and stuff. They're too low. People taking profits on all these companies because it's the end of the month. Buy, buy, buy. Merck, I'm still waiting to hear about the Northwell Health study about Pepsid. Hey, does famotidine kick coronavirus in the butt? I think it does. Let's talk about that study that could have been out in June. It's already almost August. Let's hear about that. Google, because Google crushes it. Google's dead even right now, but they're going up. I should actually raise them. If you find them below 15.15, buy them. There you go. Let's resort. Bam. They're now number 4 below Tesla. USANA, I think, yeah, immunity support for coronavirus is going to be the next thing. Microsoft got beat down after earnings for no real reason. They're going to pick back up, so they've been down, but they're actually still kind of cheap. Anyway, so looking at things now, I also want to look at like things that went up the most and see what kind of crap went up. This is a lot of junk that went up a lot today. Voicera, healthcare operator, prepare for sure, but for their financials below. Yeah, a lot of companies with terrible financials. Francesca's, shocker. Francesca's, they're like, I think of them as the retail overpriced, nice looking crap store. And they are either the biggest winner or biggest loser every single day. Their stock gets manipulated like crazy. You don't want any part of this. If you want to ride a roller coaster of nonsense, then get in on this company. That's what I say about that. Now, Carol's Restaurant Group, on the other hand, is someone I like. If you've watched some of my older stock market videos, this is Burger King restaurant chains because they got the Impossible Burger and fast food and drive-through is a huge thing. I called them back when they were at $4.50 a share, and now they're apparently at $5.89. Good for them. I called them a while ago, so them I actually like. I left them at $5 a share because they're kind of volatile too, but long term, their business is actually pretty good. Capital Senior Living Country. That's bad. That's bad. That's bad. Anyway, so those are things that won. What about the biggest losers of the day? Medic Nova, companies with no profits and low stock prices. Lifeway Foods, I've seen them moving around. Sealing Systems, yeah, this one I didn't understand. This one just seemed like somebody taking profits. Armstrong World Industries looked like they actually had some potential. They're doing sealing stuff. I think there's going to be a lot of single-family home building going on as people want to move out of cities to their own property, own house. Proto Labs also is intriguing. This is the biggest loser, but I like them. 3D printing, e-commerce tech stuff, a lot of 3D printing, laser printing, online plans and stuff for doing 3D printing. That is a good business in the future. They also had reasonable financials, I believe. It wasn't awful. So I think that while they're a little overpriced right now because they apparently have been hot recently, that's a reasonable company to look into. So I like that. And all right, so that's the stock market for the day. There's a ton you can do here. I don't sell this. I just kind of talk about it because I like seeing how the economy is moving around. Um, and the stock market's a good gauge for that. So let's talk about baseball. The baseball algorithm. How did it do today? Well, I have a results sheet here, record sheet. I got a little slicer for it. And the answer is, well, let's start back at when we started doing this. On the 24th, how did we do? Not bad. We won some games in a row up top. That felt good. How about the 25th? Oh, we sucked. Oh, that did not. Oh, that's ugly. That's a lot of red. That's a lot of badness. Not good. How about yesterday or 2 days ago, the 26th? Not so good either. Not great. How about yesterday or today, essentially, the video I'm talking about, right? 727, 728, right? That should be 728. Yeah, this is actually 728's games right here. Sorry, this is wrong. It should be this. This was today. So that's a cool thing about a pivot table is you can type right over it and it then knows what it keeps that for all of the same records. So these are all games from yesterday, Tuesday the 28th. So this was a much better day, even though Milwaukee lost. Cleveland and Chicago did win, and we had Chicago as an underdog. This is one of those where we beat Vegas and we beat them hard. Our third best pick of the day is an underdog, and it wins. Oakland loses, but that happens. Washington loses. Let's take a look at the matchup sheet to see if we can pick up anything of note here. And we'll zoom in and we'll talk about it. So losing this game, actually, let's start at the early game. It wins the Cleveland game as the second best pick of the day. This is the 3 o'clock game. Reasonable line. Thinks they were going to win 5-2. They don't cover the 1.5, so you don't win that, but they do win. That's nice. All right. So then here we go. 6 o'clock. No bad news. We thought that Washington beat Toronto 4-2. They lose 5-1. That sucks. Atlanta, Tampa Bay. We think Tampa Bay was going to win 6-3. They win 5-2. That's really awesome. Good line there. So that's awesome. Cubs and Cincinnati. This is where we have the Cubs as an underdog winning 4-2. They end up putting up 8 runs. So hitting an over in this game, and they win by more. They're great for them. If you took the Cubs reverse minus 1.5 line, you just cashed in. Great. That's awesome. Poor Milwaukee loses this 8-6. I watched a little of this game. They were down 2-0. They tied it up 2-2. Then they went ahead 6-2. This was 6-2 at one point. And then they blew it at the bottom of the inning, made it 6-6, and they ended up losing the game 8-6. So whatever. Bullpen cost them that one. Bummer, but that was the number one pick of the game. It goes down, but at least they put in some offensive effort, so you don't feel complete. What I was thinking at is, well, all right, so you had your number one pick there. They didn't have a great line at minus 176. Is there anything you could have seen from the stats over here that would have made you make a better bet than just taking Milwaukee on the money line? Like, is the over really supposed to happen? And the answer is kind of. This is weird how Lindblom's ERA is weird here. He was not I think this was his major league debut or something was weird about this. The ERA factors are pretty high, especially for Pittsburgh. So you could have said play the over and you obviously would have been right. But it's just a bummer that Milwaukee didn't win because, of course, I had them. All right. Second game of the doubleheader with the White Sox and Cleveland picks Cleveland, and Cleveland does win. Also kind of interesting. We had a 4-4 ended up being a 5-3, so kind of a close depiction of the scoring there. Um, Zimmer and Ronnie Garcia in this KC Detroit game. It did pick Detroit essentially to win this game, even though it didn't give it a positive bet score. They did barely win the game. Um, so I guess there's that. Mets in Boston. I took the Mets, even though the file said Boston, because there were some weird new pitchers like Matt Hall's not a career pitcher in 2019 or anything. So your stats are all weird. And I saw his really high ERA, and sure enough, the Mets do put up runs. So that's one of those things where we don't have good stats yet for for baseball too much yet, but it's going to get better if the season continues, which I think it might. I think that teams are going to test positive and stuff, and they're going to break for a week or something, and then people are going to get right back at it and get treated, and hopefully everyone stays healthy. There's a good chance that that is going to be a kind of a running way that things go here. St. Louis and I hope so anyway. St. Louis and Minnesota. We had Minnesota win this game, and Minnesota wins this game. It's good. Arizona, we had beaten Texas. Arizona beats Texas. I mean, some of this looks really good. Look at this. We had the Dodgers beating Houston at -140. The Dodgers beat Houston. Almost, almost right down the line. Here, the Angels put up a ton. We would not have really predicted that that happened, even though they were the team to win. So that the Seattle is not a professional team right now. It feels like they are just a disaster. And you call it, so Oakland doesn't come through because their bullpen falls apart, and Colorado, which is a team that can hit, decides to hit. That's actually a really good line on Colorado when you think about it, because they do still have a ton of offense. So that's a bummer, and but a predictable bummer. Both us and Vegas were completely wrong in the same thought. Then San Diego and San Francisco, we had San Diego, and San Diego wins. Also amazing, and we had the Cleveland at the beginning. So what that leads to is, I mean, a winning day if you went all the way down, but unfortunately 2 and 3 in the top five, and that's a bummer. But hey, whatever. So is life. Third thing of the day, hockey. Hockey playoffs are starting, I believe, this weekend. These are the games. Who's going to win? Well, my Caps aren't playing in this round, but we're going to be doing a video in the future about hockey and the subsequent rounds of the playoffs. If, of course, hopefully we make it through the qualifiers and this continues, I'll be doing a video about how to program that into this file, because I did have some sale on this file, and I know people are interested. We're all getting ready for hockey and getting ready for some semblance of normalcy, so at least we can see things that are familiar to us on the television, for Christ's sakes. So let it continue, and if we do have infections, we treat them, we stay healthy, and then we get back to work, because we're human and we fight it off and we recover. That's how we deal with this virus. That's how we exist. So may all of our lives be living.